problems as far as the Red Sea and the Suez Canal route regarding global cargoes, there also we're going to have a problem of inflationary pressures because commodity costs will go up. And then our exports also will become uncompetitive. Exports going to developed country markets in Europe and America do use the Suez Canal route. And if they use the Cape of Good Hope, then everything becomes more expensive. So we've had many conflicts which have come as a surprise in recent years, recent months, and therefore we cannot afford to be complacent.
Hello and welcome to the Secretariat. Global tensions are flaring once again, this time with Iran and Israel at the center of it. To discuss this ongoing crisis, we have with us Ms. Sushma Ramachandran, a senior journalist and columnist. War between Iran and Israel erupted on June 13th. It sent a wave of shock across global markets. Earlier this week, a ceasefire was announced between the two nations, and it is said to be brokered by the US President Donald Trump. Despite the ceasefire, tensions in the West Asian region continue to worry, as they impact not just that specific region, but the whole world. Ma'am, how do you think it will play out in the near future?
Well, I think the fact is that although a ceasefire has been declared between Israel and Iran, brokered obviously by the United States, it seems to be a very fragile peace. And therefore, we have to understand that anything can happen at any time. The war in Gaza is still going on. There's still a tremendous amount of friction between these two countries, Iran and Israel. The US claims that it has destroyed the nuclear facilities of Iran. To that extent, obviously, Iran would be very upset and would like to have do some retaliation in some way. So I don't think that we can expect that there's going to be complete peace in the region. So therefore, we need to prepare for the fact that there will be disruptions not only in the West Asian region but in the world if anything like that happens.
Ma'am, since so many things have been happening, so many countries, so many regions are getting impacted, what is India's immediate concern?
Well, India has several concerns. Uh, First of all, right now, when the Israel-Iran war was going on, we had the commentary about the Strait of Hormuz. Everybody was talking about that. Now, that's a very narrow passage between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. But and you have a large percentage of the world's crude oil passing through this narrow inlet. Now, this narrow inlet is controlled not just by Iran but also by Oman, because 50% of those territorial waters actually belong to Oman. So it's not so easy just for Iran to blockade the strait. At the same time, if they want to do it, they can make things difficult for merchant shipping. They can have drone attacks. They can put mines. They can, board ships. There are things that can be done which the Oman Navy would find it difficult to control. And even if they do just a few incidents, merchant shipping, container ships carrying crude would definitely be seriously uh, worried about going through this strait at a time when they could be open to this kind of an attack. So it is. This is one big worry, not just for India but for the entire world. The other worry, of course, is that if a war breaks out between Israel and Iran, or some hostilities continue between Israel and Iran as they are going on, you have the attacks of the Houthis who are based in Yemen, and that has been continuing ever since the Gaza war began. So they have been attacking global shipping, and you already have a situation where large numbers of merchant ships are avoiding the Red Sea and the Suez Canal route and are going via the Cape of Good Hope instead. So that is for the whole world and for India. It raises export costs, it raises import costs, and therefore we have to really worry about the fact that these are inflationary pressures. As far as the Strait of Hormuz is concerned, you'll have a lot of oil and gas coming through that. in the case of the Strait, the worry is not about availability of oil because there's ample availability of oil from other sources, but the price of oil will go up. So the fact is that there's the question of high crude oil prices because availability is not a problem. There are ample supplies available from many countries, even if India doesn't get it from the Gulf nations. The United States can supply more oil, Russia can supply more oil, West African countries can supply a lot more oil, Latin American countries. So it's not a question of availability, but it's a question of price because world prices will go up. They use the Cape of Good Hope, then everything becomes more expensive. So largely we have to worry about inflationary pressures.
So, ma'am, oil prices have once again softened following the cease. Where do you see it holding?
Well, oil prices, India has been very lucky, I would say, for the last 6 months. Prices have come down, as you rightly pointed out. They had been in a softening mode. They had come down to less than $70 before this crisis. During this crisis, the prices shot up to about $81 per barrel. As soon as the ceasefire was declared, as you pointed out, the prices have fallen. So, in case there's no outbreak of hostilities, we can envisage a situation over the next 1 year where prices will remain in this softened mode. That is, maybe reaching a maximum of $70 or $75 over the next 1 year. And the reason for this is there are multiple reasons. Number one is that China, which has been the largest oil importer in the world for many decades now, has slowed down. Its economic activity has slowed down for various reasons. And it is also making a switch to renewable energy in terms of electric vehicles and things like that. So their consumption of oil is coming down. So to that extent, more oil is available in the market. Then you are having higher production of oil from shale oil producers, especially in the US. Then again, you are having new producers coming online. The West African countries that I was talking about, you're having Latin American countries, Guyana and other countries, Brazil are now entering the market in a big way. So the inventories are higher in world markets, and there is, of course, also apart from China, there are recessionary trends in Europe. And therefore, demand once again is not as high as it used to be. So, therefore, with the demand not being as high as it has been in the past, and availability being more than usual, so we can expect, therefore, a period of relatively moderate prices, which is very good for India. But now this scenario presupposes that there is no huge geopolitical crisis in the future. And we've had a lot of surprises. Iran, Israel was a surprise. Even India, Pakistan conflict was a surprise.
Seeing how the recent geoeconomic situation is panning out, how do you see the US India bilateral trade agreement shaping up?
Well, that's a difficult thing. Um, uh, Initially, I would have thought that perhaps the situation is the trade relationship would be pretty good on tariffs. But I think now India has taken a stand as far as a few sectors are concerned where they are sensitive, especially agriculture. And the US, on the other hand, the reports are there that they are also taking a hard stand on that because they want access both to the agriculture as well as to the dairy sector. Now, these are sectors where India's farmers, subsistence farmers are involved, both in the dairy sector and in larger agriculture sector. And therefore, India is going to be a little careful about allowing access. Having said that, at the same time, there are areas where we can allow access in agriculture, and that could be in the area of fruits, it could be in the area of nuts, and it could be even in some grains. For instance, some economists are saying you can even allow American rice to come in because they certainly cannot compete against Indian rice. But if they want to export soya bean or maize, corn, that's an area where Indian farmers would be affected. So and then again, dairy is an area where you have so many small farmers. We have dairy cooperatives in this country. So and the Indian and the American milk industry is very large and very corporatized. So, so these are areas that India would naturally like to protect, and once again, America also very naturally would like to enter this huge market. So, I think we may have some differences, and it may take a while to reach an agreement that is suitable to both sides.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. See you soon.
Thank you.